Do you remember what it was like when you discovered the concept of self-help? For me, it was magic. Up until that point, I had always felt powerless, like I had no control over what was going on in my life. I always felt like I was meant to do something big, and yet I never knew how to get there. I had a lot of angst with regards to my unfulfilled potential, and that's when I found self-improvement. I started reading a book called Mindset by Carol Dweck. I learned that your mindset is the most important thing when it comes to success. Success, yes, that damned word success. The same word that you hear over and over again in the self-help world. I went on YouTube and found a whole bunch of self-help YouTubers. I was hooked. It seemed like there was finally a way out of my angst. I finally found a way to fulfill my potential. I started consuming every kind of self-help content there was. I even started making those videos. I ignored all the marketing and sales tactics commonly used by self-help gurus. I didn't care what they were selling to me. All I wanted to do was to get better at any cost. But was I actually getting better? Or was I just fooling myself, creating this false persona in my head of a perfect version of myself and using that to then feel better about myself? Now, before I start divulging my thoughts on the toxicity of self-help nowadays, I have to start by saying that I am in no way against the concept of self-help. I think self-help is one of the most beautiful concepts that I've ever encountered in my life. The idea that you can become better tomorrow than what you are today, to me that is one of the most fundamental ideas of living a fulfilling life. I mean, self-help is a concept as old as most religions. If you really dive deep into mythologies and religions, you will find that a lot of them talk about becoming a better person, improving yourself in every way, etc. But with that being said, I think the main problem with self-help nowadays is not the ideas themselves, but the way that they are marketed to us. You know, I was pretty excited when I read the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I thought for sure I was going to become a more effective person now. After all, I knew about the 7 habits, right? Well, it turns out there is an 8th habit, so I guess I won't be as effective without that. Maybe I should read that book first. Well, at least I know the 48 laws of power. If I ever want to become an evil politician, I'll know what to do. Nope. Apparently there's a 50th law as well. So I have to learn that before doing anything else. I'm sure you've seen this pattern in the self-help world. The entire marketing of whatever book or course or seminar you're going to buy makes it seem like your entire life will change and money will start flowing out of your ears and you will literally become Jeff Bezos if you just apply this one weird trick. And then after you buy their course or book, you'll find out that they have another book, another course, another whatever that they want you to buy that again, you will be incomplete without. Now the marketing is going to be very convincing and you might just believe them. You might buy their course or seminar or whatever. Effectively, here's what happens when you fall for this. You come into this world of self-help with all this ambition and you think that you are finally on the path to achieving your dream life. You buy the books and seminars thinking that that's what's going to fix you. The people you buy those things from tell you, hey, there's actually even more things you need to know. There's another brain hack that will rewire your brain and make you super productive. You're like, alright, sign me up. You keep going down that rabbit hole and you keep consuming and consuming, not even paying attention to the fact that you're still in the same place. And after watching hours and hours of self-improvement content and reading literally hundreds of books on it, there's usually 2 things that will happen to you. You will either use all the knowledge you have and tell yourself that you've changed your mindset so much and you'll inflate your ego and think that you're on your way to the pinnacle of success, or something else happens to you, which is much worse. This is kind of what happened with me, and where a lot of people will find themselves after years of consuming self-help content. Essentially, this is what the problem is. We build up this persona of the guy or the girl who is into self-improvement. We talk in quotes and give impromptu motivational speeches to the people around us. Everybody thinks that we have such a positive mindset, and we keep inflating our ego with the external validation we get. We find like-minded people in the name of mastermind groups and continue to inflate each other's egos. Some people might even go the rest of their lives being this person and never notice that there's something wrong with it. But in moments of genuine self-reflection, you will realize that at the end of the day, you haven't used 99% of the things you've heard or read. You still have your problems and you're still the same person you always were. You've just built up an impressive facade to mask your own insecurities and challenges, and then the penny drops and you become disillusioned. You lose faith in the idea of self-improvement. You start thinking that every person who sells a damn program on the internet is a scam artist. You keep talking about how the whole self-improvement industry is a pyramid scheme, how everyone is just lying to you to take your money. You resign yourself to mediocrity. You return back to square one, only this time more tired, with no ambition and a lack of self-esteem. Which should not be the end of the story. I don't think so. I think there's a real world of self-help outside of the multi-billion self-help industry. I think that in all of our lives, there are moments that are more instructive than any book you can ever read. And sometimes you'll actually come across some real people who've genuinely changed their lives, not by reading a book or going to a seminar, but through immense action and sheer force of will. David Goggins is an example of one of those people, a man who through immense grit undoubtedly became one of the toughest people on earth. Now, with regards to self-help, I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I don't have any problems with people writing books and giving talks and sharing their ideas with the world. I mean, on my channel, I talk about those books and make summaries of their ideas. So clearly, I don't hate the book or the ideas. My problem is with the marketing of the industry, which reinforces the notion that you are never good enough, and that the book or the seminar is the only way to fix you. While they don't say that explicitly, if you know anything about marketing, you will understand the subtle language patterns they use to make you insecure enough to buy their product. I think the best way to really improve yourself is to pursue insight and wisdom. Now, in the pursuit of insight and wisdom, you should read books, you should watch videos, and you should go to seminars and talk to other people. But your motive should always be to pursue insight and wisdom, and then apply it in your life. The second your motive becomes creating an identity out of self-help, you're going down a very slippery slope. If you create an identity of being the person who's always finding new books and seminars, who's always looking for the next hack or technique that can change their life, that's the place you'll always be, and you will always feel like you're never good enough, and that the thing that will make you whole and fix all your problems is out there and not inside of you. But the fact of the matter is that people for thousands of years have been changing their life and improving themselves without reading a single book. So clearly, reading a book is not a prerequisite for changing your life. To reiterate, I'm a huge fan of reading books and devouring self-help content, but I think that what we need to do is to have enough discernment to figure out that we are whole and we can improve ourselves regardless of our circumstance. If a book or a video helps you out, then that's awesome. But the second you adopt the mentality that only a book or a video or a seminar can change your life, then the marketers have now sunk their teeth into you and they will drain your wallets and your self-esteem. So my conclusion is, you are enough. You don't need a book or a course to magically fix your life. And anyone who subtly or non-subtly tries to insinuate that message in their marketing is plain dishonest. You should view self-help content, including my own videos, as entertainment. Sure, they can be better than mindless entertainment, but at the end of the day, it's still entertainment, and it's not going to fix your life. Only you have the power to do that. If you relentlessly pursue wisdom and insight with humility and curiosity, you will become a better human being over time. And to me, that is the essence of self-improvement, becoming a better human being over time through small steps. That's very realistic and very achievable, and eventually, I think that leads to a life well lived. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, because I know that this might be a bit controversial to you, so I'd love to hear from you. Do you think self-help has become toxic? That's all for now, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.